So you're going to identify your specifications for that service?
Yes.
Because you would need dietitians certified by whatever,
Precisely. That's right.
Nutritionist, okay.
And then here, there's equipment we would need, all right? And that's something we'd have to also get to actually provide the health counseling, says counseling session. The health counseling as the initial consultancy where we tell you where you're at, your biological situation, where you should be going, what you should be doing. This is the equipment you're going to use to do that.
To get a top quality product, you need top quality raw materials, and we intend on producing on our own, and also monitoring our processing, our production unit. Because if you do not have a product that the raw material is not good, the final product will not be good.
Okay. Also, you're going to be in the business of growing your fruits?
And buying from all farmers.
Yes, because we'll not be able to produce everything we want at all the time. So we also intend on buying from the farmers, but also monitoring them for the gaps.
So you would need to invest in
no, that's normally, but now we're going to blast freeze, so that'll extend on the life.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
But you have to maintain the cold chain to the supermarket.
Yes. So we're going to have refrigerated trucks to transport from, and we're going to have insulated trucks for other combinations that need less.
I see you have a potato peeler. We grow a lot of sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes,
I think you've done a really good job.
Yes.
I think you've done a really good job of getting your work done. Is that correct? 410 calories?
We went for it, but
for the plantain, the breadfruit, and sweet potato?
But you have only 10 from fat.
First point is studio location. Under studio location, we want to look at transportation, we want to look at nearby cafes, we want to focus on neighbors, where we are going to position our business, as well as the cost. In terms of studio location, we want to look at safety and visibility for students who are attending classes in general. We want to know that it is a place where they're able to find transportation according to the times that we will be providing classes, and knowing that there is good lighting in general in the area. In terms of neighboring, we know that some persons are very concerned about the noise levels. However, we are still looking at location and trying to find some place that is suitable to place our establishment. Studio space and fittings, we like to focus on student accommodation. Spacing especially is very important. We have considered the number of persons that we would like to accommodate per session on the days identified, and we've looked at 25 for the most.
The customer's needs and requirements, what exactly they want, and also what is required to produce the doll in terms of taking standards where if we do in cosmetic purposes, not lead dolls, or if we do in cases of government regulations, what have you, we cannot do certain things. So we take all that into consideration. Now again, with this, management has the responsibility of this, as to set guidelines, everything like that, so what exactly we want, our objectives for the business, where we want to see ourselves now, and the objective of the customers. Basically, what you might want. We have to tailor the whole product, the outcome, based on this.
Okay, what I really expected to see with the flow charting is the steps that you would take from the beginning of the process to the output of your manufacturing process.
Okay, well, that's what we'll...
So you have the flow chart. You have a flow chart.
Well, that's what
this looks at an overall generic management system.
That's what this one is about.
No. This is very generic as well. But we want to look at what.
Explain. Let me hear.
This one is one.
If you're convinced, that's what it is.
Okay, tell us about the product your product realization.
It's based on our dolls. So we're basically going to be designing the concept and design of our dolls, basically.
But how are you going to get the concept and the design?
Well, we have quality cards, basically, based on each customer. We're going to ask them what they want.
So each customer, so it's a custom.
Well, in terms of these like we're going to, okay, if we go in for, let's say, carnival, we're going to sit on with the bands, we're focusing on the bands. So the bands are going to say that they want X dolls, or whatever price, we go for quality management cards, so they specify what exactly they want.
So what time of the year would you start engaging band managers?
Well, because as soon as after carnival, basically, because I think most bands, they start the preparation for the following year.
So your first step would be to set up a meetings with band managers to develop concept design, with costumes or whatever.
Yes, this is what we're going to be doing in that aspect of it. Meeting the bands or meeting persons who have you.
And you use this
Yes, use the quality card. Next step on our end now with design, well, break down what they want in terms of this, the patterns we want, material selection, everything like this. And then in terms of our workers, we have our personnel working for us. Based on what the person wants, we have to train our personnel or teach them or upgrade them.
One of the things, it needs to be interactive, both the audio and visual. The other thing is that the industry standards, for example, the class size. What we've done some research, and what we find out is that the best participation from students is a 5 group, but to a maximum of 15. So we cannot move away from that. So we're not going to provide a classroom that's virtual, greater than 15.
So we already have our design. This is just one of. Then we contact our suppliers, then our accessories. Then after we contact our suppliers, we go to our custom broker to take care of the shipping documents. Then when our material reaches here, we go to clear the goods, bring the shipping documents to the agent. Then afterwards, we bring it to our own in-house tailor to make one sample for us, to make like several samples for us, and which we would like. Then we bring it for the printing. Then after this, we bring it for mass manufacturing factory.
So you're not going to set up your own manufacturing?
In time to come.
So you're making the T-shirts?
Yes.
You're buying the material, you're making the shirts?
Yes.
But all we only need is just to import the material.
Just to import the material,
Okay.
The rest is done here in St. Lucia.
And you're going to manufacture?
Yes. And after that, we bring it to our storage, and then we're ready for our distribution.
Consultancy service, for example, we don't want to send you flying a plane without gas. So the consultancy service gets you going. But the other services, without them, the consultancy would fall flat.
Without the provision of the meals, the exercise,
that's right.
classes.
That is right.
Menu plan.
The first stage, we're actually going to outsource this. That's where we collect from the farmers. So we're going to have an outsource.
Somebody is going to go to the farms, collect it.
Yeah.
They're going to bring it to you, pre-sorted.
Yeah, we have quality checks when they go to the farmers to make sure everything, and they have to actually, with the breadfruit specifically, we're gonna have them picking it themselves. Who we give the contract, they're gonna have to pick it themselves to make sure that everything is done the way we want it. Yeah, because we don't want if it falls, then that will cut down on the amount of time we have before we process. So we want to make sure that is done. Then, of course, they're gonna transport it to the factory where we're gonna start. Actually, we have a diagram of our factory, but we'll show it to you a little later on. And then, upon receiving the goods at the factory, we're gonna sort it out, weigh, and then our people themselves are gonna do another quality check just to make sure that everything is in order, because sometimes you can never trust what other people do for you. So we're gonna have our own people doing that.
The flow charting that we were really looking at is that what are the steps involved in selling your products? First, you would have registration, payment of fees.
In blue, starting from service specifications going on.
Market, government requirements, product development. What is
Service specifications would be our details. Yes, open house. We have in advertising, we have our hiring personnel, test run we have our open house.
Okay.
Like we said, open house to educate the persons coming in to get to know information about those classes.
What are the government requirements?
Pardon?
Government requirements, are there any?
No, there wasn't. No. Based on our last...
what was the requirements for Lamaze then?
They didn't have any.
They don't have any?
For Lamaze classes?
Yes, the international standards.
The international standards, yeah. Charlotte, answer your question.
Because you're going to have some nurses working with you, right?
Yes,
doctors,
health aides. That's right, family practitioners.
So
yes, we have the family practitioners
have the same standards
as there. That's why we said we would follow maybe the standards of a health facility, a well-established health facility. Meaning that how often they disinfect their beds. We have mats. We disinfect our mats. You understand? Keep the place clean.
So you follow the industry standards
same step.
for the medical community.
Yeah? Let's go for the flow chart. I think the flow chart will give us some more information there.
Well, we have basically 3 intake areas: our warehouse, our reception area, and our water intake area. In the warehouse or delivery one, we receive our packaging material, the forks, napkins, bowls, all right? And then they're all graded by the manufacturer. So we ensure that we get our stuff from a reputable source, all right? And we